There are days you live for. There are days that you die for. This is one of those days. Always hand-picked. Gary Jones. What do we have today, folks? Let's take a look inside. You even get a cooler for your troubles. A9 Waygu Brisket. We have us here a 13.73 Wagyu brisket from the Butcher Shoppe in Pensacola, Florida. $137 on sale, $10 a pound. This is the dream cook. This is what us barbecue pit masters dream for. Let's get started. Hello, barbecue family. Here is the star of the show. We have the A9 pure breed Wagyu brisket. We got this brisket from the Butcher Shoppe in Pensacola, Florida. We've seen this meat a lot on How to BBQ Right and Heath Riles. They use this company to source their meat quite a bit. It's going to be fantastic. I hope I can do this cook some justice. All right, let's get this open. I'm gonna try not to make too big of a mess, which I have a feeling we will. We've got a lot of juice in here. I gotta figure out where to put it. Take this to the sink and drain this out so I don't get this all over the counter. All right, I'm gonna take you through the whole process here. Might as well. Oh, look at this beauty. All right. Whew, it is messy. Thirsty, anyone? Oh, if we had a horror movie that we needed to film and we needed some blood for any certain scenes, or if we needed to be able to have a blood oath, here you go. That is pretty gross. Well, we're pulling out all the stops for this. This brisket that I got from the Butcher Shoppe is a non-comp brisket. So I'm thinking they don't trim it quite as much as maybe they would for comp style. So we'll just try to trim this up on how we would eat it. This is definitely the non-fat side. We still got a lot of fat on the top, so we'll have a bunch of trimming to do here. All right, that's probably a pretty good start for now. Boy, that looks nice though under the covers, doesn't it? Once we get this kind of trimmed up, it's gonna look really good. All right, as you can see, we've got our new knives sent to us by Maddie and Kiki. I got lucky, won a little lottery draw. I'm definitely not the world's most expert on trimming briskets, so I'm gonna be a little bit careful here. We are gonna cook this low and slow, so I'm not gonna do anything to really mess this up too much. I think most of this is gonna render out. I'm not going to be super aggressive, and being an A9 Wagyu brisket at $10 a pound, 13 pounds, we definitely want to get as much for our money as possible. Now normally I probably wouldn't save most of this, but being Wagyu, I'll probably save it and break it down for some beef tallow for later. It's interesting how the difference is from this brisket to something like Costco. Is I gotta say, not so much oxidation on the sides, not a huge decal here, as I've seen in other briskets that I've got from Costco. Man, so, I mean, look how nice that and flat that lays. Usually in Costco ones, not that they're bad, but I'm usually cutting a ton of stuff off that. It's gonna be nice and aerodynamic. Let's get pretty thin there. It's probably gonna go, but I don't want to get it gone too soon until we have to. This is kind of interesting here with the point and this little extra bit here that we've got. That's pretty much just a huge ball of fat right there, I think. I'm just taking that off. We just go slow here and see what we got. I'm not going to cut into that. I think that would be silly. I'm just going to top it off. Let's pick this up from the bottom. I think that'll make this easier to kind of get off. For those of you that saw Smokin' Joe's fairly recent brisket video, he did no trimming and did a cook, and it turned out fantastic. So I think when you're doing Wagyu, less is definitely more. We'll take off what we can do to get by, go from there. To say these ends are fairly thick, we're not going to have to cut off a lot there. Maybe just a little rounding. A little bit of this we're probably going to go right there. But man, that corner's super thick. It's nice. So it's kind of interesting, this end point here, what to do with that. So definitely let me know your suggestions of what you would have done with this tip piece here on this brisket. Would you cut it off here? That's what I'm thinking of doing. It's not a lot of meat in general. I'll probably end up just leaving it on. I think it's going to kill us, but I feel like I ought to just cut that off right there. I think we'll just kind of leave it, go with it. All right, I think we're getting pretty close on this top. Just get a little bit of this extra stuff off. We're going to call it good here at some point. We could probably trim on this thing for hours. If you try to go any closer, you start hitting the meat, and I don't really want to do that. All right, I think that's looking pretty good for me. Let's turn it over. What we got here on the back. Now, I was watching a video before I started doing this with Heath Riles and his Wagyu brisket, and he didn't trim a lot on the bottom. And you know, there's not a lot of fat here. You know, we go with the 1/4 inch method, and there's not a lot more than a 1/4 inch on any of this. So, you know, I think at this point I'm calling this backside good. I think we'll just trim it a little bit more around the sides, and we're going to be good to go. All right, let's cut off a little bit of the edges right around here. It could just be chopped up just a little bit. Actually, not too much. I don't really want to a lot of this go to waste here, but I think we definitely need this, just this little piece here. All right, nice. I think we can go with that. All right, I'm going to call that good. If you have any comments on my trimming, on what you would do, you know, let me know. I am not an artist. I'm not an expert. And this is probably the hardest step for me because I never quite know exactly what to do, but you know, I think that we can call this good. I'm going with this. All right, just dry this off a little and we'll get to rubbing. All right, it's 10 o'clock at night. We're gonna cook this overnight at 225 on super smoke. We'll get up in the morning, we'll check it out, we're gonna wrap it. As you can see, it's super dark out here. I think if I did some lighting, it would mess things up. I gotta get my lights set up for, there we go. That should work. Of course, it's getting right on the neighbors. So we'll let this get heated up. We'll bring the brisket out. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use Worcestershire sauce for our binder. Why? Because I've got a bunch in the fridge and it can be used up. We are gonna do a base layer of pepper. Then we're gonna use Holy Cow. I think it's gonna be a nice match. I don't know if some of you would just do salt and pepper, but I don't think a little bit of Holy Cow, which basically is salt and pepper with a little garlic, is gonna hurt anything. And it should be pretty spectacular. I don't think it's gonna hurt the natural flavors of the brisket. That's what I kind of mean to say. Let me know in the comments if you think so. This brisket is a little bit bigger than I've ever done before. Interesting, look at that. It's like they already had that cut there, but left it. All right, that looks pretty good rub-wise. Get this hand cleaned up and we'll do the pepper first. So I've got a little bit quarter pepper here that I think is gonna help build the bark better. This is definitely what Meat Church did on his. Just a quick base coat of pepper and then his rub. This should help build a nice bark. Not gonna overdo it. It's a big piece of meat. I'm sure that I'm not gonna hurt it. I'm just trying to help in bark creation. All right, now the holy cow. Man, this is gonna be something. That's all I know. This is gonna be something. All right, we're gonna give that a little bit of time to sweat in, and then we're gonna turn it over to the other side. All right, let's flip this over and do the front side. I'm really impressed with this brisket so far compared to what I know, which isn't much, and that's just a few biscuits from Costco, which aren't bad briskets. All right. Okay, put our base layer of pepper on. This should have a great bark. Really should. I'm hoping. Now, there's no way I'm going to do burnt ends with this because I think you want to go all slices. You got to get the most out of this Wagyu as you possibly can. We're definitely going to have enough pepper. As you've seen any of these guys and put the rubs on their meat, they don't hold back. So I don't think we have to hold back either. This is going to be all Texas brisket. All right, that is looking good. We're going to let that sweat in. We're going to get it on the pit. We've let it sweat in. I'm going to get this on the grill. I'm going to do it fat side down. I wanted to try it fat side up, but I don't have that other attachment in. So we're just doing it like this, folks. All right, let's take a look. Got a little flash on so we can see the meat better. We're going to just let this cook all the way overnight. We'll get up in the morning. We'll see how it looks. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is 6:35 a.m. and a little bit early on the wrapping, but I gotta go play golf, is what it is. Probe showing 157. I'm gonna take what I did while y'all weren't looking last night, and let's take a look at this bark. Actually, that's looking pretty good. I took that beef tallow from last night. I put it on the grill to render it down. We're gonna use that in our wrap. Whoa. Okay, that is hot. We will use that in our wrap now. Just keep getting more and more juice, more and more beef tallow. All right, I'm gonna move this over and we'll get it in camera view in a sec. All right, here we go. We got fat side down. Now we're just gonna grab a little of this tallow. Put it over the top of the brisket. A little bit on the paper. All right, very good. Clean up this mess later. All right, we got fat side down right now. Get our first tuck, we got fat side up. Fat side down. Okay, we're gonna wrap this like our grandma was wrapping us a Christmas present. Fold those ends in, wrap it one more time. Fat side up. Fat side down. Cut this off. Try to get these edges in a little better. This on the bottom, get it back on the grill. All right, we're back on the grill. Got it at 250. We'll play our golf game. Let's get our probe back in. All right, we'll be back in about 4 hours, and we'll check it from there. All right, we're gonna do the easiest step we've got. All we've got to do now, take it out. We've hit our temperature, 203 internal. Just got to get it out the Traeger, get it into our cooler, rest it a few hours, and we'll have some dinner. It's nice and pliable. Actually, I'm gonna go in and get another piece of foil so that we don't get our blankets all dirty. But I'll save y'all that step, and when we get it out to slice, bring you back. See you in a bit. All right, here we go with the unwrapping. Let's see how we look. This is a pretty exciting moment. Hopefully we did it justice. Got a good bark, got a good smoke ring. We'll see here how we did. Pretty messy. This is the best way to do it. Yeah, looks good. Now, to get it out of the wrapping without messing our bark up, see if we can just pull this underneath. Oh man, this is pretty tender. It's just falling right apart. Still pretty hot for resting for 4 hours. All right. There we go, folks. Looking really good. I'd say we've got ourselves the winner right here. Let's separate the point from the flat. With the reveal shot. Oh yeah, looking good. Nice smoke ring. Looks great inside. Let's make some slices. All right, let's take this slash right here. A little thick, bin test looks pretty good, coming right around. Let's pull it apart. Pulls right apart. A9 Waygu Brisket, here we go. Oh, it's like I died and gone to heaven. That is delicious. I'll get the rest sliced up. We'll get our other taste testers out and see how they like it. Look at that bin test. Oh man. Pulls apart like it's nothing. How is it, Dana?
Very good. Delicious.
I'm gonna ruin it.
Going back for seconds.
Here's Jack with the taste test.
Very good.
That could be the best brisket I have ever tasted. Fantastic.
Oh, Jack, you say that about everything. I guess I'm just that good of a cook. Well, barbecue friends, there's our A9 Waygu Brisket. I think everybody should give it a try at least one time and see what you think, because it's a great slice of meat. And you know, I went to the Olive Garden the other night with 4 of us. I think the cost was $160, 80 bucks each for pasta. You know, for okay pasta. So really, if you take that $137 cost, it's reasonable, because we're going to get a lot of meals out of this. 4 of us with some potatoes and a salad, you know, $137 plus, you know, maybe $10 for the rest of that. That's $75 each, and we're going to have a lot of leftovers. So I think you should, you know, the brisket seems expensive right off the bat, but when you compare it to going out to eat and take the value of your own cook, oh man, it's well worth it. So go ahead, go get you a Wagyu brisket, go to the Butcher Shop, call them up, have them ship it to you 3 days. I mean, ain't the USA great? In 3 days I had this brisket at the house. So do your cooks, go tell all your friends, bring them over, have some good family gatherings, because we're all jonesing for some barbecue.
This could be the best Diet Coke I have ever had.
Take a look at this rendered beef tallow. Kind of feels like a brain. Thirsty, anyone? Oh.